Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another exciting meeting at Interpersonal Toastmasters. There's a saying, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. What about your New Year resolutions? Were they wishes? Were they statements? Were they just thoughts that you made? Billions of people every year make some resolution. I want to become thin. I want to reduce my weight. I want to be rich. I want to have own a big bungalow. Blah, blah, blah. But in the words of what the going to be first speaker today, let's understand how exactly you can achieve something. Doesn't matter whether it is a New Year resolution or the goals that you make on your daily basis. So as a typical Toastmaster meeting for the understanding of Caesar, who is as a guest today, we have prepared speeches, and then we also have the impromptu part where we speak on the toes when we are asked a question. And then we also have evaluations, feedback that we get, because everywhere else we are judged. In Toastmaster, we are told how to improve and where exactly to improve. Now, before we go into meeting proceedings, let me invite our grammarian for today, Toastmaster Sangeeta, to introduce the word of the day and also introduce her role as a grammarian. Sangeeta.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today I will be the grammarian, and I will pay close attention to all the speakers. I will listen to their grammar language usage. I will make note of any improper usage and outstanding words or phrases that they use. Also, I will be introducing word of the day, and for today, I have the word assuage. It's a verb. It means to make an unpleasant feeling less intense. For an example, we can use assuage in a word in a sentence like, to assuage his wife's grief, he took her on a tour of Europe. I will also have this posted in the chat for easy reference. And at the end of the meeting, I will also have a grammarian report. This will be my role for today. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Sangeeta. To assuage my wife and my younger child, the only thing that I can do is take them for an ice cream parlor, and that will reduce the grief. Now, with that note, let me invite the first speaker for today, which is DTM Susan. Before her, let me invite this wonderful lady who is joining today from Singapore, Toastmaster Carol.
Yes, this is the purpose statement of her speech. The project is for a member to practice the skills needed to address audience challenges when she presents outside of the Toastmasters Club.
The duration will be?
The duration will be from 10 to 15 minutes, but the speaker will deliver a speech from 5 to 7 minutes.
So thanks you. So we cannot distinguish that. So overall time will be 10 to 15. Susan, how do you want to divide your green, yellow, and red card? Can you please tell our timer, Piyush?
Piyush would like to have the green come on at 10 and the yellow at 12.5 and the red at 15, please.
You clear, Piyush? Wonderful. Susan is attempting this project, preparing for the difficult audience. This is a real-time project that prepares you for those moments where we get disturbed, because people are not going to be quiet as in Toastmaster. Now, to prepare for that, she's going to be presenting this speech, and we are going to disturb her. We have some hidden role players who will be disturbing her. So it is not the usual meeting, a usual speech where people are disturbed just for guests to know, but we will be disturbing in this project because that is the project objective, and she has to just move ahead of these hindrances and complete her speech. Thank you, Susan. Oh,
Before I begin, can you enable sharing?
sure, I'll do that. I'm making a co-host. So you can try your screen sharing first. And
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Because it is the beginning of the year, I'd like to reflect upon your goals. So what might your goals be as Toastmasters? And I'm open for comments from folks for this portion of it. What might your goals be? Have you thought about it? Well, I'm going to help you along the path. Research shows that written goals have the power of getting achieved. Not just think about it, but actually write it down. And even better, when you share those written goals with someone else, the success rate that you'll have is even higher. Now, here are some of the reasons why people join Toastmasters. I want you to think for a moment. What's your why? Now, some people join to develop their confidence while speaking in front of an audience. Others are to improve their interpersonal and networking skills. Have you ever had a disagreement with someone that you know, perhaps a loved one? This can help you, especially here in Interpersonal Toastmasters. And we also learn to develop impromptu skills. Those speaking roles that we have when somebody asks you a question, like at work, an executive says, "How are you doing on that project?" Or "Where are those papers that I asked you to provide?" You have an opportunity to gather your thoughts and share impromptu on the spot. This is also very useful in an interview if you're looking for a new job or a better one than you have. We might also wish to articulate our ideas or thoughts in a better way. Instead of saying things like, "I like all that stuff," I might say, "I am really enamored of all of the wondrous beauty that we can behold in this world." All of that is important. And we can learn how to do that better. And then we might be able to present our proposals to the management and our clients and do it where we're able to influence them and win the yes that we're looking for. Don't we all want to succeed in these areas? Now, the way we do goals typically is we start off with generic goals. Like, I'd like to improve my public speaking skills, or develop critical thinking skills, or improve my listening skills as an account or a grammarian, or even with my friends, or improve networking skills that we have, or develop nonverbal communication skills that we can enhance using our hands or our facial expressions to support getting our message across. But did you know that you can enhance those by making them SMART goals? And I'm going to show you how. I might say that I will deliver all my level 1 project speeches by March 31st. Now, I'm not going back in time. This was written a year or more ago. So please, we're not going through a time channel travel. We're going to be doing in the future. So the 23rd. 2023. I want to deliver all my first level 1 speeches by March 31st. In order to develop my critical thinking skills, I might have a goal that says sign up for the speech evaluator role by the end of November and the general evaluator role by December. By doing that within the next month or so, I would have the ability to develop those critical thinking skills. I might also want to improve my listening skills by signing up for the timer's role or the counter or the grammarian roles by the end of the calendar year. And I might like to improve my networking skills by attending other meetings, perhaps even once a month, starting this month. And I might want to develop my nonverbal communication skills. And that would be by presenting speeches using body language techniques and vocal variety in every role I take up, speeches and counter. Yes?
Why didn't you change the dates, Susan?
Oh, yes, I apologize, Grace. I wasn't going back in time, but I ran out of time for prepping. Plus, I kind of stole these worksheets from someone else. I didn't develop them myself. I'll do better next time, I promise. Thank you for
Okay.
pointing that out to me. And then the way we can do that into a SMART goal is a SMART goal has several characteristics, and I'm going to share with you what those are. First, it needs to be specific. Clearly state what must happen. And then measurable, results that can be easily validated. I've done it, I've accomplished it, and action-oriented. Beginning with the word to, followed by a verb. I'm going to deliver, I'm going to participate, I'm going to prepare, and so on. That allows us to have the action words. And then we want to make sure that it's realistic. Obviously, I'm not going to do 2 full paths this month because that's not practical or achievable, but we certainly don't want to set our goals too low either, where I might say, I'm going to give at least 1 speech this year. That's not going to help me in my growth in my goals. So I want them to be realistic, but not too high or too low. And then we want to make sure they're time bounded. A timetable for achievement. I'll do it by March or January or February. The idea is that I'm holding myself accountable, because if we do not actually have the time frame, then it's just a wish, a hope, and I'm not going to be accountable for it. So it's time bound.
Can you give me an example of your own SMART goals for Toastmaster this time?
Surely, as I did,
SMART.
Great, Grace, thank you. As I did on the previous page, and I'll go back to it, the page says that I'm going to deliver all my level 1 speeches in project by March of that year. So that would help us by filling out all of those items. It is specific, it's measurable, and it's realistic, it's action oriented, and it's time bounded. I said when I would do it, what I would do, and it's a reasonable item to do. Does that answer your question? Yes, okay, thank you. So setting goals in Toastmasters journey can be easy if you follow the following aspects. First off, your goals need not be smart or perfect to begin with. You can start with the generic goals initially and then improve them generally as you get some clarity. I want to do these things, they're my wish list. Now I'm going to develop that plan and figure out, well, I'm going to do them when, and I'm going to be specific on how I'm going to do that goal. So they will evolve from a generic goal into a SMART goal as you gain some clarity. Obviously, if I'm out sick for 2 months, I do need to also make some adjustments. They don't need to be static. They're not written in stone. We try to review our goals every quarter or 2 and make the changes based on our experience. Things happen, life happens. It's okay. They're your goals and you can make those adjustments. Then additionally, the deadlines need not be rigid. We all know personal and professional situations may change significantly. Travel, business travel, they may delay the
Hey,
achievement of the...
Susan.
Yes, Raghu.
Hey, Anna. Good to see you. How is China doing?
Nice to meet you
Thanks
all.
for joining.
For being late because it's working time in China.
Oh,
So
no
sorry.
problem.
Thank you
I
for coming. Thank you, Raghu, for welcoming
you.
Anna. We appreciate that. Thank
I
you so
hear
much.
that there's a lot of restrictions, COVID restrictions in China. How are you doing, Anna? How things better there?
They all of us, most of us recover. Yes,
Okay.
thanks for asking.
Oh,
Yeah.
I very much appreciate that, but let's have some networking time as we end our meeting
But
today.
Anna,
we finish this
we
meeting.
see a lot of things in news saying that there is restrictions in Apple factories and everywhere in China. Is it how bad is it in China there?
Manoj, if it might be possible, can we hold the networking discussion to catch up with Anna until after our meeting so that I can present the presentation for our audience members? Is that acceptable to you? Yes, and
Yes.
Diana, just
Thank
put that
you.
in the text and we'll be appreciative of your comments too. Thank you. Remember, putting these goals out there, it's better late than never, and you can manage it quite nicely. And I look forward to all the catching up with everybody, including Anna, tonight. Now, when we want to implement our goals, there's some very helpful ways to do that. We can involve our team members in helping us set those goals. I might be a complete blank slate and not know where to start, but I might connect with Raghu or Grace or Carol and ask, what goal do you think I might need to achieve this year? Well, this particular speech that I'm giving will actually finish my level 4. So one of my goals for this month might be, I will share this speech and I will complete it this month and finish my level 4. So that's how I can involve my team members on where I am. They can be encouraging to me as well. Now, if I write down the goals, that'll be where I have the best results. And if you write them down, you'll find yourself accountable to it because it's not just floating around up there in your mind, but I wrote down, I will. Start out with I will, finish, complete, do. And that way you look at that and say, I made myself a promise. I'm going to do it. And then consider what you might need to achieve that. If I were to say, I'd also like to finish a level 5, well, I'd need to look at the requirements. And it says 2 more speeches. Can I achieve that? Well, not tonight, but I could if I planned out 2 additional speeches in the next 2 or 3 months. And I know that that would allow me to finish that next level. I'll give you a little secret. I'm already finished with the level 5. I did them out of order. Oops, didn't mean to share that secret. But yes, we have consider what you need to do to achieve it. And then you might want to recognize what problems or obstacles could be encountered. If there was a major storm that came across here in Florida a few weeks back, we had a hurricane, I had no power. I couldn't obviously deliver the speech I was planning because I had no internet. I was lucky I had power because we have a generator, but I know that certain problems might happen during hurricane season. So I need to be mindful of that. But it can also be family members not doing well or maybe coming to visit. Obviously, that might take priority. So when you're implementing the goals, take into consideration the big picture and regularly review your progress towards that goal. Am I getting closer? Am I working towards that goal? Or have I even started the process, planning the goals to implement them? And to help us, there are these wonderful goal tracking sheets that one of the divisions created, one of the districts created. I think it was District 57, if I'm not mistaken. And I've borrowed it from them from the Facebook page that they posted. If it's available and they're sharing, I'm grabbing it to be helpful to our speakers. And what it allows me to do is not only list down the dates that I might plan to finish each of those speeches, but when I have a goal to finish the level. And this is true of every path that is in existence. And it helps us get a good snapshot of where we are, because if you don't write it down and have a deadline, then it's just a dream. A dream without a deadline is just a wishful thinking, and it won't get accomplished. So this particular project tonight that I'm doing, it's not presentation mastery, but it is presentation mastery managing a difficult audience. As our guests might notice, we don't usually heckle our speakers. We allow you to finish your speech.
Pathways is such a controversial topic. Everybody keeps talking in different things. What is your opinion on that? Why should I have same projects in every path?
We don't have the same, well, we have 5 levels in every path. Level 1 is exactly the same, but each path starts to differentiate itself in level 2. And then in level 3 and 4, it gets a little bit more specific to your tasks, such as persuasive speaking, or in this case, managing a difficult audience. That is not in all of the paths, but it might be available as an elective to do in most of the other paths. So please choose wisely when you pick your paths so that you know where you're going to be having the required speeches. And then if you want to have some fun with it, pick it out as an elective if it's not already mandatory. Does that answer your question, Raghu? So now we have gone over quite a number of the ways that we can determine what goals we want, how they are to be developed, and how they are going to be implemented. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, Raghu.
Thank you very much, dear Team Susan. Can we have a big round of applause for her for completing the project even when there was the difficult audience? Well, I as soon as I saw the title of Susan, I didn't want to spoil it with naming them, and then I wanted her to mention them. So when it comes to New Year resolution or resolution that you make any point of time, the goals that you're making for your resolution should be smart enough. I will re-emphasize what Susan has spoken. Specific. You should have a specific, measurable goal. And it should be measurable, what you want. For any project that you're implementing, or for any goal that you want to have, it should be measurable. Now, I will say, I want to be rich. How exactly rich? I should have 10,000 or 10 grands, or let us say 10 millions by end of year, something like that. It should be measurable. So you should be able to say that I have this, and then I have achieved my goal. Third thing is achievable. Now, I just say I want to achieve my 10 billion by the end of year, maybe 1 billion. Is that achievable? Unless I go and rob a bank, that is not achievable, right? Now, next thing is realistic. Make a realistic goal. Are relevant, should be relevant to what you're doing already. It should be realistic to your ground. It should not, doesn't mean that you should not make a bigger goal, higher goal for your life, but it should be relevant to what you're doing. For example, let us say, I'm not healthy. I want to reduce my weight. What exactly? How much exactly, right? I want to reduce my weight by 10 kilos by end of year. Oh, that's a smart goal because it's time bound. I cannot do it if there is no time bound. So remember, this is applicable for anything, everything that you do, not just resolution, not just goals. Even the projects that you're doing in your office, the projects that you're trying to attempt in your personal level, or anywhere, including planning for your kids, for your children, for their education and everything. I hope you will be able to implement that as part of your new resolution next time. But right now, we have our next speaker who has joined from Hyderabad, India, who is going to speak on his level 1 project. But before him, let me invite this beautiful lady, Grace, who is going to introduce his speech objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. Today's speech comes from the evaluation and feedback project. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting And another purpose of this speech is to demonstrate the ability to deliver an effective and respectful speech evaluation. So this is his second speech. He's going to be able to add a change based on his first evaluation. The timings will be 5 to 7 minutes. The title of the speech is "Are We Required to Be Certified?" Thank you.
Okay, great. Now, this is a beauty of pathways. So I try to bring that as a question, as an arguer for Susan, but this is the beauty of pathways. This project is a re-emphasizing the importance of giving feedback and taking feedback and implementing feedback in what you do. Unless you hear from others, unless you are able to distinguish the feedback that is required for you to improve and implement it, you cannot become a better leader or a better person too. And that's the project that today Manoj is going to attempt. Manoj, are we required to be certified? Are we required to be certified? Toastmaster Manoj.
Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn? Me too.
Yes.
Okay, me too. Thank you for that, Raghu. I'm on LinkedIn from way past 2012, but I am in active mode on LinkedIn only from 2021. As I logged into LinkedIn, I saw a post saying, a person posted, "I am certified CSPO." Now, not knowing what is CSPO, I went into Google and searched, and it says CSPO stands for Certified Scrum Product Owner. Okay, he's certified. But in the later days, I saw many posts saying, "I'm certified CSM, I'm certified blockchain developer, I'm certified Java developer, I'm certified project manager, I'm certified tester, I'm Pega certified, I'm Sun certified." What not? It is like, I'm certified to stand, I'm certified to sit, I'm certified to sleep. A certification for everything. And a person posted saying, "I have done 17 certifications in the span of 4 months." Really? On seeing everyone being certified, I got terrified. Later I was petrified. Later I was horrified because I'm not certified. At that moment, I thought, if there is a certification for fear of not being certified, I would have been in distinction in that certification. My dear friends, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, do you also have a craving to do more number of certifications? Or do you think we need certifications for our skills? Or do you also fear certifications like me? After this episode of Certifications Marathon, I got a doubt. Are we required to be certified? What is important? Is it skill or certification of the skill? With this thought in my mind, days moved on. Recently, I opened my mobile and I was opening Instagram, and there immediately a video popped up and a father and daughter started to sing. "The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, all through the day." I got a bit frustrated. Why? Because I bought a 55-inch TV to watch good movies. And my 2-year-old son, he hijacked my TV and he runs these wheels on the bus all through the day. And I opened a 5.5-inch mobile and again he started to sing "Wheels on the Bus." So I was about to close the application and an advertisement popped up saying that, come join my masterclass on personal finance, a masterclass which has an alumni of 17,000, a masterclass by finance with Sharon. I got interested in this ad. I got curious. I thought, is this person, Sharon Hegde, who is giving this masterclass, is he really certified finance professional? On learning about him, I understood he is not a finance professional. He don't even have a finance degree. He chose this path of creating content on personal finance only as an add-on for his MBA application. Later, I went into LinkedIn and I saw a person by the name Justin Welch. He is selling a course on LinkedIn by the name The Operating System of LinkedIn. A LinkedIn user, how is he certified to sell the operating system of LinkedIn? And this trend continued. I read about a book, the book named Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. The author of the book, John Gray, he self-proclaims he is a relationship expert. Who certified him as a relationship expert? And a lot of doubts started to pop in my mind, like popcorn pops out of the corn kernels. Who certified Michael Jackson as a dancer? Who certified Leonardo da Vinci as an artist when he's a man of physics and math? Who certified this, whatever? Michael Jackson is there. We have Leonardo da Vinci and many other people as their experts in their skills. One thing I understood from these is all these people have actually concentrated on their skills. They enhanced their skills and applied their skills. They did not go behind certification agencies to certify them. My dear friends, today we are here in Toastmasters. Do you think that if Toastmasters has said, pay X amount of money and write an exam and we'll certify you, do you think that we would have got what we got today from Toastmasters? That's the thing. Whatever you see in the past, the successes of many people, it all depends on the skill. They have applied their skills, they have enhanced their skills. In the ways, Steve Jobs, he don't have a degree. We know how successful he is. Gautam Adani, third richest person in the world, he don't have a degree. Bill Gates, he's a dropout. Mark Zuckerberg, he's a dropout. Jack Dorsey, he don't have a degree. And we can take it in the way past as well. Walt Disney, you know what Disney Studios is? He don't have a degree. Michael Dell, the CEO and founder of Dell Electronics. And way back, the legendary example, Thomas Alva Edison, he hardly have schooling. Henry Ford, he don't have degree and he don't have even schooling. There are a lot of things, a lot of people have successes in their field by enhancing their skills and applying their skills. My dear friends, I'm not against certifications, but it is a process, how we conceive the process of certification. Are we actually looking to be certified for the skill, or are we trying to enhance our skill? If you don't have certification in your skill, it's not a problem. But if you don't enhance or apply your skills, you'll be a loser. Always ask, are you really required to be certified? Over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manoj. Now I'm thinking, am I required to be certified? I'll go and ask Toastmaster International whether I should be certified as a Toastmaster or not. Anyways, thank you for such a wonderful speech. We have two great speeches by DTM Susan and Toastmaster Manoj, of course, future DTM. Please share your feedback in private chat. I'll give you 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute. Meanwhile, passing the control to our gentleman in the room, Toastmaster Jean, the table topic master for today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. My first question is for Julie Salgo. And Julie, I'd like to ask you, what is the main skill that you want to enhance for 2023?
Thank you for the question, Jim. Talking about goals for 2023, I would like to share what I have learned in my long life and develop skills that I would like to share with others. The only thing that I can honestly say is I want to learn how to share more and how to share better. I know that we have been giving speeches in Toastmasters, but I used to be a teacher, an instructor, a consultant. So I want to learn the ways how to share my experience. And that is also, I think, a skill, because I'm not a good speaker. I'm just a person who wants to help others. And that is my goal, how to better help others during my retired time. I have more time than most of you on the screen, because retirement is the only thing that gives you more free time. You do whatever you want to do. I wish I were younger, but that's it. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you. For Piyush, I'd like to ask you, Piyush, what's the most difficult audience you faced recently, and how did you deal with it?
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. It was one of the audience in my previous teams at PayPal. I actually came across this difficult audience. I considered myself as a subject matter expert, and the presentation that I gave to that team, I thought I was like fully prepared on that, and everybody will get grasp of it and they will just clap in my honor, because I was supposed to be a speaker presenting my stuff to that team. But like barely I moved like 2-3 slides. And then someone from audience raised a really interesting point. It's like, hey, the chart that you're showing, at the 30-day mark, it has this value, but on 90 days, it's always higher. Why is that? I mean, that was such a trivial point, but that kind of got some more people confused, and they kind of hung up on that point. And really, it wasn't that great. Like the way I went to that meeting thinking I'll do amazing, and then the audience will wow me, and towards the end of it, I'm like, hey, you are the best guest speaker whom we have invited. But it was like, hey, it looks like something wrong with your presentation. And why don't you like take a look and check with the people offline who were objecting. So it was really difficult audience. I tried my best to answer their question, but really to assuage them, I have to like take a point that, you know what, I'll work offline with some of you and make sure that the data that I'm presenting is flawless and it makes sense. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My next question is for Susan. Susan, when people come to you and they express doubts about themselves or about what they have to do and whether they can do it, what do you think is the best way for them to assuage those doubts?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow guests. The best way to assuage someone's convictions that they can't do it is to be the friend that tells them that I see a skill in you that I know you can. Be supportive, be reinforcing, be consistent with them, and if someone is having self-doubts, then if they think they can't do it, they're right unless they get out of that mindset. So if I, as a good friend, can say, but what if, and propose to them an alternative way to approach the thinking, then perhaps I could help them see things in a different light. I'm sure that if we sat in a room together, we could each see something positive about someone else in the room, and a little less introspective, thinking about our own strengths or capabilities. But if we opened it up to have a day to say, I want everyone to take the person who is next to them and say something positive, and say something, a strength that you see, perhaps the person would sit up just a little taller in their seat and start to believe the sunshine that we're offering to one another. If I believe in you, then perhaps you can believe in you too. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. One other question I have for Mr. Minaj. Could you tell us, is there that one special trip that you're planning for 2023 that you're especially looking forward to? And if so, can you just tell us where you may be planning to go?
Thank you for asking, Mr. Jim. So there's one special trip I can say I'm planning, but it's not for 2023. It might be 2024 or 25. That's the only thing in my mind. So, but I'll say about that trip. So I want to take my family along with my parents, my wife, my kids to Dubai. And we want to have one complete trip with as a whole family trip in Dubai. We want to explore Burj Khalifa. We want to explore Dubai Mall. And then after going there, after completing of these, we want to go to the Palm Island over there in Dubai, enjoy the beaches, and do the skydiving. Skydiving, when I say skydiving is one of my favorite, and it's a kind of a bucket list adventure for me, where I want to see how people will experience on this skydiving, the view from top, where everyone, we might have flown on flights and we have seen from windows, but from near, flying in the air is a different experience. So skydiving is one of the best thing as for me. So that is one trip I'm planning for my future, might be 24 or 25. So thank you, Jim, for asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. For Carol, one other question for Carol saying, can you tell us what was the best meal that you had over the Christmas New Year holiday?
Thank you, Table Topics Master. One of the best meals. Not one. There were quite a few. During Christmas, or before Christmas, I was enjoying myself in Taiwan together with my daughter. It was already 3 years. I haven't met her because of COVID. She was in Taiwan and I was in Malaysia. And it was in just before Christmas, Taiwan was open and I was able to travel to Taiwan to meet up with her. She brought me to all the different kinds of food in Taiwan. They are the Western, they have the Chinese, they have the Taiwanese or the Indian Chinese food. And the most impressive one was the one that we cooked at home, 2 of us. And that was really very heartwarming. She loved my cooking and I loved hers too. We spent a lot of time together and that was how I spent my time with the best dishes during Christmas. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Thank you. For Raghu, Can you tell us, Raghu, what one thing, what's the one most important thing that, or new thing that you will have learned by the end of March of this year, March 2023? The best new thing you will have learned by March of 2023.
You put me on spot, Jim. Thanks for that. I don't see every year I make some smart goals or at least some goals or wishes probably, they keep saying, but this year I kept it open. This year, I don't want to make any goals. I want to take life as it gives. One thing that I want to learn is my ability to accept what life is giving, whether it is pulling me down or pushing me up. I should be able to keep myself calm irrespective of situation. Is that one thing that I want to gain? 3 DTMs. And what was the use? When I went on stage, and when was the function in my son's school, I couldn't speak. I was uneasy. I was so used to this virtual screen, our Toastmaster meeting. I had to go and speak for my wife's dance program in our colony. And then I was uneasy. The one thing that I want to gain out of Toastmaster is the comfort zone. The comfort of speaking anywhere and everywhere. There's 2 things. Always accepting what life is giving, whether it is pulling me down or pushing me up, or comfort zone. Not or, it's and. These are the 2 things that I want to gain. I don't care whether it is March, whether it is April, or whether it is even December. By end of the year, I want to be that person, comfortable enough in any situation and in any meeting, whether it is Toastmasters or non-Toastmasters. These are enough smart enough, I believe, Susan. Over to you, Jim. And this concludes table topics, Jim. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's time for some food for thought. Food for thought is your feedback. I will invite our first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Carol, for evaluating speech by DTM Susan.
Thank you, DTM Raghu. Here is my evaluation. Dear Susan, it was a great pleasure. It was a great pleasure and learning experience listening to your speech. Always. Susan, you have been a good speaker and a leader who shares with us your knowledge and experience that you have gone through in your journey in Toastmasters. You started your speech by asking audience questions, and that put everybody in attention. You did your speech and project in an orderly manner with the help of slides to let your audience walk through with you easily. You gave us lots of examples and explained clearly every point that you have put up. Without doubts, your eye contact, body language, gestures were proper and significant. As for facial expressions, I hope to see more when audience started to disturb you in the middle of your speech. You are a bit too calm to start with. In order to prove your expertise in the time of disruption, I prefer to see more of your management skills when managing difficult audience. The audience started asking questions and interrupted your speech. According to the project, there should be a few audience to start disturbing you in different ways. For example, 2 members will be chatting by themselves louder and louder until it's quite unbearable that you have to manage this situation. Another one is a member who'll be asking irrelevant and not so polite questions. How are you going to deal with this? A member who start moving around, fidgeting, making noises while you are speaking. And that will be annoying for you. And how you are going to manage this interruption. One more member who just raised questions and went on and on and on, and as if he or she is a speaker. And you have to try and calm this speaker down. That is a difficult audience. Susan's speech was orderly, and we had lots of examples. I like her slides that were simple and clear. Tonight, it was like a question and answer project, which I hope it should be more on the disturbing, difficult audience that disturbed you. Anyway, I look forward to your next speech. You are wonderful, Susan. Thank you, and back to DTM Raghu.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Carol. Now it's time to see how our friend Manoj has done in his speech. Grace, over to you.
It was my great pleasure to be able to evaluate Manoj's speech. Manoj did a very good speech, and first it was really enticing with the title because the title was in a question form. Are we required to be certified? It was really catching. And then he moved on by catching the audience by asking question first. When he asked everyone in this Toastmaster, are we all in LinkedIn? And then he went on with his personal story about certification. I like how he compares and contrasts things, and most especially how he was able to emphasize a very interesting point, which is, are we here to enhance our skills, or are we here only to certification of skills? I also like how Manoj is very comfortable with his audience. He really engages with them. He has a very good tone, volume, and vocal variety in his speech. But I think that if I would be evaluating this, as an evaluator, you might want to work on not using your virtual background when you're doing your speech. You use quite a number of gestures, which is really good to really attract the audience. But because you're using the virtual background, sometimes it's kind of distracting for us. It is not as appealing as it should be. So a natural background would be the better choice when you are delivering your speech. And to also challenge yourself better, I think that at the end of your speech, you have given a lot of examples of famous people who are not certified and yet they are experts. But it would have been better if you yourself shared your personal story where you can be an expert into something to a wider audience. In that way, it could really be helpful for every one of us to learn more. But overall, it was really nice to be able to evaluate your speech, Manoj, and I look forward to hearing your speeches again. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Grace. This is why I love this club. It was bang on the touching the spots where the improvement was required, and they were kind enough, empathetic enough, but not hurt the speaker, but not hurting the speaker. I'm correcting my English. That's what I do for others, so that's what I will do for myself. That's in a Toastmaster, correcting yourself, correcting others, improving yourself, helping others to improve. That is how With the synergy, we improve ourselves. With that wonderful evaluation, let's go to our English teacher of the day, Toastmaster Sangeeta, the grammarian, to see how we have been doing on the language. Sangeeta, stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Yes, it's my pleasure to be a grammarian today, to have heard everybody's speeches, table topics, talks. It was very interesting and engaging meeting today. To start off with, the first speaker, Susan, her speech was good grammar. I don't see any grammatical mistakes, good usage of language as always. And has a very good flow of thought and informative as well, sharing her experience and what she has learned. It was a good one overall. And also, I did notice that she used word of the day, assuage. And then we have the second speaker, Manoj. Yes, he had good usage of words like petrified, horrified, and it's an episode of certification marathon. And his son hijacked his TV, and then and popcorn. He had some usage of popcorn popping from kernels. I remember him using some phrase like that. That was also a good usage. Overall, yes, good usage of language. And then we have the table topics. Overall, everybody did well. Specifically, I see some who table topic masters. Master Jim used the word of the day. We have Piyush who used it as well. Susan also used assuage. Raghu as well in starting of the meeting. And some phrases, what Raghu used is life as it gives. You need to, I want to accept life as it gives, something like that. So that was also a good usage. In the evaluations, Carol used a phrase like slide to walk through audience easily. I think that was also a good usage. And then Grace used comparing and contrasting. I found this also a good phrase that she used. Overall, it was a very good meeting. I'm glad that I was a grammarian for today. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thanks for joining the meeting and taking the role today, Sangeeta. Now it's time to know how we are on time from our timer to see how we are doing on time. Piyush.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. It was impeccable. Everyone was within timing. Nobody's disqualified. So no feeling hurt, nothing to assuage. Just to go through the timing tally. Susan, you used 15 minutes and 25 seconds. Manoj, you have used 7 minutes and 30 seconds for the table topic. Julie, you have used 1 minute and 40 seconds. I have used 1:57. Susan, again, you're within the time, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Manoj, 1 minute 27. Carol, 1 minute 19. Raghu, 1 minute 56. Evaluation, Carol, you have used 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Grace, you have used 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Back to you, Toastmaster Raghu.
Thank you very much, Piyush. Now, we have completed our meeting. It's time to know how we have been doing from our dear guests. We have Anna who are joining. I think she's a bit late. She was supposed to do the timer for today, but that's okay. Next time, probably, she told she was in office. That's okay. So before I go to that, I will do what Diana has been asking me to do for a while. Diana wanted me to read this loud. I got a goal, Secretary Toastmaster. I want to improve and speech are skill basics. I'm improving and listening to someone with my disability with smart goals level SUH. Well, I think the goal is strong. Verb speak and meeting clubs, and I would like to share that my speech is better this Toastmaster club SUH, and my verb improves skill that SUH doing right goals SUH. Wonderful. She always know how to make the grammarian of the day happy by using the word of the day several times. Diana, that's Diana. Irrespective of her disability, she is the one visiting clubs across the world every day. I think if that is not the one, what else can be? And with that note, let me ask Anna, how did you feel about today's meeting? Something unusual, the unusual project that Susan attempted. How did you feel about it? Anna?
Hello. So your question is, how do I feel about Susan's speech?
Susan's project and overall meeting.
Thank you for your question. I really touched by Susan's speech because I noticed she always, speak very, how to say, very, speed. Maybe she just want to take care of the person like me because I'm not, English is not my first language. So I think I can follow her very easily. Thank you, Susan. And also your speech always, today I learned a new word, heartwarming. So your speech always make me feel heartwarming, encouraging me. So I think every time I learn from you. So regarding the whole meeting, I didn't expect because I have attended this meeting twice. So every time maybe just within the 10%, I didn't expect today we have more than 10. We have more than 10 person here. So I think we just attract more and more guests. And also I really hope one day I can be member of the meeting. Thank you, TM.
Wonderful, Anna. We want to expand our empire across the nations. We are already into different nations, but why not China? That will be a great addition if you become the member of the club. Thank you very much. Frankly, how was your experience in today's meeting?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you, Frank.
Very good. And this is my first time joining this meeting, introduced by a new friend, Anna. So it is my pleasure to be here with everybody. Very good to get to know you guys, and hope to join the meetings often in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You, Frank. Keep joining, keep learning. Happy learning. Archana,
Thank you
how
very
was
much.
your experience? Thank you, sir. Archana, how was your experience today?
Hi. Good morning, good evening, and not sure what part of the world people are from, but it is very interesting. I think apart from the meetings in office, this is first time I am attending a Toastmasters meeting, which is across the globe, and it is really interesting. And I was blown away by the first speech, especially because it was of a different kind. When I say that, I think it is something where people have to interrupt the speaker and ask questions, XYZ, and how the speaker was delivering the speech was really interesting. I felt it was very composed, calm, and the way it was handled. And definitely all the speeches given today were amazing, and the whole meeting was driven very effectively. So I am really happy. Thanks, Raghu, for inviting me to this meeting today. And I feel really happy and privileged to be part of it. Yeah, my best wishes to everybody.